Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Teresa. I am 46 years old. I am hypermobile. I have recently been diagnosed with ASD level 1, formerly known as Asperger's syndrome, ADHD, PTSD, anxiety, and depression. I also have suicidal ideation related to trying to fix my ADHD features, actually. So, and also from my PTSD as well, from trauma in the past. So, all of my videos come with a trigger warning. So please just be kind to yourself, and let's get started. I really wanted to say thank you to all of you who liked, shared, commented on my video, on especially on the executive function fail series. I heard from a great many of you who said that you felt validated, and I just wanted to say that your stories also helped validate my story. So just as I am just really grateful. I'm really grateful for you all that I'm just grateful. I read all of your comments, and you really had a lot of very thought-provoking, compelling comments. And so it really sparked a lot of ideas in me. And so your comments are so important. When I say like, share, and comment, please do like, share, and comment, because I have a big, I have many stories, and I just need a focal point. I like where I could focus it, because there's always something that I could bring to the conversation of being a late diagnosis, like a lately diagnosed female, because we really are different. I mean, we have had to adapt. And it's, I really thought really long and hard about why. Why are women misdiagnosed? Why is this such a problem? Why are, not just with autism, I mean, just across the board. I mean, I've spent the last 10 years trying to get help, and I've received invalidation for a great many of things, and autism is just the late thing. I think I just got fed up. I think I really just got fed up, because I really am trying to get better, and people think that because of the way that I look, or because of the features that present, that I'm not actually actively working on myself, which is exactly the opposite. So I guess this is just just a space where I can communicate these feelings that I can't communicate to anybody else, because I can't understand. I mean, people don't understand, and I don't expect people to understand. I understand my experience is unique, and it's sometimes so far away from everybody else's experience that yes, it can be unbelievable. I trust me. I understand. And so I do hold great compassion and empathy for people for not understanding, because it's a big ask. How can you expect somebody to see you acting one way one day and all of a sudden your behavior has changed so drastically? And it's just the simple thing is I've just dropped the mask, and people don't get that. They're trying to add their own meaning to it, and I get really frustrated with that. No, don't add your meaning to it. Your interpretation has nothing to do with how I feel. And so I'm just really just coming to terms with it. I am also, like talking to friends and not family, friends, because I'm incommunicado with my family, and people that I've known for a long time, and just where I see like healthy patterns, and I see patterns where people could use to capitalize on whatever, I don't know. I see abusive patterns coming up with people, so I'm like, oh well, I need to cut off that relationships for sure, and this is a friend and this is not a friend. So and also I really appreciate you sticking with me, if you're sticking with me here, because I'm ADHD and I'm all over the map. So I will try to chunk this up or divide this up, and hopefully that you can skip around it as needed. But this does need to be said, because it's my stream of consciousness and it's what's coming out of me. I think I just need to get this out before I can get anything meaningful done. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to have I am doing a video on the self-help spiral and how it can be harmful for an autistic just an autistic female, because that's really my experience. I can't speak for anybody else. All I can do is speak for my experience. So as an autistic female, this is what I've experienced in the self-help spiral, and I've witnessed, it's not just me, I've seen other people go through it. And now that I'm autistic, now I can't speak for other people and I can't say that they're autistic, but I'm seeing other people with features like mine, which could be autism. So they could be in the self-help loop right now and trying to fix these features that don't need to be fixed. What they need is they need space. What I needed, actually, I need space away from people. And so the self-help spiral, the need for routine, the need for space away from people, the extra need for rest. And now this is a huge thing. I have always been told you have to rest at this time because of such and such a system, healing system says that this is the right time to rest. This is the right time to eat. This is the right time to do such and such a thing. It's not. And I discovered, because I'm autistic and I have my senses are, I am super hypersensitive to my environment. Before my vision started going, I had 2010 vision. I also am my hearing is very sensitive. I am very sensitive to people and their moods. So if somebody is very erratic, or if somebody's angry, or if somebody is showing a lot of emotion, or if I'm in an environment with a lot of people, it can be very draining. And so I have to take time to recharge. It's a must. And I've been looking through my entire life. It's like it's reordering my life with this new lens of autism. And I've been seeing, now I see the masking and to meltdown pattern ever since I was in grade school. Masking to meltdown over and over and over again. And I was seeing the coping mechanisms, socializing with boys instead of girls, which was masked because I'm a twin and I have a twin boy, a twin brother. So it wasn't unusual for me to hang out with boys, but I tried girlfriends, and they always crashed and burned when I was younger. And I just, under the age of 9, I kind of flew under the radar. I had some speech issues, selective mutism, but not really anything crazy, because I had my brother and my neighbor friends that were boys that I could, and I was basically a free range girl that was allowed to get all my stuff out. And I rode horses, and I didn't have any demands put on me, and so I was allowed to be me. Even if I was in a neglected household, I was still allowed to be me. So at that point in time, I didn't really have a whole lot of features that were exhibited. I mean, there were a few, but not really a whole lot. But once after I turned 9, we moved into a new city, into a new state, into a new social economic class. And all my behaviors, well, just being from a different social economic class, I was immediately noticeable. But all my behaviors, my weird behaviors were, and then I didn't speak in class. One person actually asked me a student actually asked me if I was mute. And so that behavior was in 4th grade. Asking for help from teachers when I didn't understand the curriculum, going from a very, and then them just not listening to me or not explaining it and just putting me in the stupid, or what I referred to as the stupid area. I'm just asking questions and you can't even give me a proper answer. Acting more than an adult. Like I legitimately was like, I really don't understand it. He's like, well, it's new to everybody. I'm like, yes, but I am new to the school, new to the state. And I'm explaining this to as a 9-year-old. Like, I can't believe I'm explaining this to a teacher. Like, as a 9-year-old, if I have to explain why I'm not getting the curriculum and you can't explain it to me, you're a bad teacher. But I didn't know this at the time because he was an adult. And I just accepted that, okay, well, I must be stupid. Instead of actually creating an environment that was friendly for me, there was no support in grade school, in this new grade school. It was an affluent grade school. It was an old money grade school. We lucked into a neighborhood and into a house that allowed us to have, and I'm really grateful for the education, because it did actually give me a very good education. And that's the one thing, like money matters. And there was a difference between the school that I was in from 1st grade to 3rd grade, and the school that I was in from 4th to 6th. And actually the school district I was in from 4th all the way through 12th grade, because they didn't know what to deal with me. Like, after I moved into this new environment, first of all, there was again, trigger warning. There was some child sexual abuse, and it's very common with autistic children because they're mute and they don't communicate. And so that started, and so I was dealing with that, and I was dealing with being in a new school system. So people were like, how could you they were like, your trauma is, the way that you're reacting to your trauma is not making sense. I'm like, well, I don't understand, because all of it was trauma. Being in a new school system, being bullied. Actually, I was being bullied for not having proper table manners. Like, seriously, I remember like having like the queen bee like walking me all the way up the main street from school, kicking my heels, talking about how like I slouched, my elbows were on the table, I was nothing. I was just like all the way up the hill, and her friend was there and just, yeah, bullying me. So that, yeah, welcome to my new school, and everybody, yeah. So it was just, so I basically shut down. And because I didn't understand this behavior. I didn't understand how, like, having my elbows on the table or slouching was like such an offensive thing. So I don't know. It didn't make sense to me. And I think I just started shutting down at that point in time. I stopped, so, I had that. There was also an incident where, I witnessed not the event, but the aftermath. Like, my sister it was a very traumatic event where her horse was hit by a truck, and we had to, they had to have it euthanized, but I actually saw the aftermath. Like, kudos on my mother just having really stellar parenting skills. Like, they did not protect me from seeing what happens to a horse after it's hit by a Mack truck. And I think a lot, and I had PTSD all the way up through because I rode horses all the way up to, I was actually in a barn with people that were long listed on the dressage team, and actually my trainer's trainer was on the dressage team. So, and actually I met her and actually got to see her. So I got to see masters at work. So, I was able to overcome, but I still had PTSD from the event. But because of the whole horse whisperer thing and my experience so mirroring that, I think people thought I made it up because it was all around that time. But I actually didn't make it up. Actually, I did meet the real horse whisperer, and while he did have very useful information, like when dealing with Mustangs, I actually did observe him. He's arrogant as fuck. He is an arrogant fucker. But that's a tale for another time. I tell you, I got stories. I really do I have stories, and I have stories of being a working student on many different horse farms out on, so if you want to hear more stories about me being a working student and what that entails and the pitfalls, and if you are interested in doing that as, in getting your feet wet and getting into that profession, I could definitely tell you stories and what to do and what not to do and how to be safe, because there was definitely abuse. I experienced abuse, but I also grew up and I learned how to take care of myself. I learned how to handle myself, and I learned how to survive because my family didn't really teach me those skills. And so I kind of had to learn how to do it. And I was in it put me in very dangerous situations. So if I could do anything, is I could just tell you my story, and maybe I could help younger generations or even my generation or older generations so that they understand maybe a little bit on how to navigate, because I did come up against experiences, even with all of my trauma, even with being abused. I still, like, when people were being smiley to me, were being nice to me, I still did not understand that they may have had a nefarious, like, ulterior motive, of abuse. Like they were wearing a mask they were wearing their helpful mask, but I could not read between the lines, and I could not see the patterns of abuse. And this is why it's so important to be diagnosed as autistic if you are autistic, or if you I don't even think I'm kind of vacillating on I think it's nice. I think it's good to have a diagnosis, because it really helped me with my own framework, because it kind of helped me organize my mind. So in that respect, because I have the privilege of having health insurance in the United States to be able to afford, my insurance covered most of it, thankfully. But it gave me a framework. It gave me somebody that actually listened to me from the outside. I actually saw my actions from somebody that was actually observing it, not and with as little confirmation and bias as possible. It's impossible. You cannot have a review without confirmation bias. We're human. We have a lens that we see life with. It's impossible to get that out of the system. But this one was so comprehensive, and there were so many layers, because she was like, okay, so you have generational trauma because you have Native American heritage. You also possibly have autistic features on your dad's side. I also have the MTHFR gene mutation, which has its own challenges that deals with nervous system deregulation, as well as causing chemical imbalances, which actually cause anxiety and depression, which is related to my ability simply not to be able to absorb folic acid. So I have to take a supplement for that. So there's a lot of different pieces that I know that I can be helpful with. So I really, again, wanted to thank you all. I am still working through my executive functioning fails. I am going to do a self-help spiral video, but it's going to take a lot of research, and I really want to do it justice, because I really want to be able to help you. And I know that I could help you with my experience. I also wanted to do some movement things, because I know that it's not everybody that's autistic, but there's a good percentage of people that are autistic that are also hypermobile. So I think that this would be helpful to give you some resources. Now, I am not an expert in ballet, and so I definitely recommend the ballerina in the cards here. She's amazing. Her name is Catherine Morgan. And she's the one that really got me started in taking ballet class to really to give me courage to take it, because I did not, like, before, like, I saw all these just goddesses, these ethereal women, and I did not see myself as that. And yes, this not that she is not, she really is, but she has a really inspirational story that made her it really put her on a different path. Like, she was on the fast track to become a principal at New York City Ballet, which is that's impressive is an understatement. But because of the thyroid condition, it took her out, and she really had to take time off to get better. So this channel was created for that, like, while she was getting better, which, I mean, it's amazing. Like, she took this and capitalized on it, and she made a platform to help others. And so I really, really have mad respect for her. And I also, like, love her videos. They really break it down and in a way that I can understand. And so I'll link it in the card. This is just one that I work on, but she has many different ones that I worked on before that were a lot easier. This is one that, I've been doing her videos for about, I guess, 9 months now. And so it's been super helpful with getting my body together. Like, my knee is now straight. Like, it's not, I can still see that it's still out of alignment. It's not perfectly straight, but it's getting there. Everything's kind of getting there. But again, I just wanted to thank everybody again for your likes and comments. And please, 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 just if you relate to this, just comment below, like, share, and I'll keep these videos coming. Thank you.